are live. Good evening, everyone. Or should I say good afternoon, good morning, good night, depending on where you're tuning in from. My name is Nippon. This is the SW6 Cast. I am joined by my co-host today, Mr. Matt Jable from Chelsea Perspective. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Obviously, nice late night stream, which is why I'm in my Chelsea dressing gown. But big up to Nippon. Big up to everyone. Happy 2025. Hopefully 2025 will be a good year for Chelsea. Hasn't been so far, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, so just wanted to discuss, should we be worried about the last few results? That this could be going into the next few games? Or is it just a little...
I do generally think it's a mixture of a blip, a bit of tiredness, and the fact that we've had a few key players out, which has hampered the team a little bit, especially within that rotation aspect. I think Maresca's potentially got a couple of things wrong, tried a few different things, and it hasn't worked. And I will say, tried a few things that Chelsea fans have been calling out for, and then when it goes wrong, they blame Maresca for doing it, which is very two-faced in my book. But there you go. Is what it is. That's just fickle fans for you. But yeah, I think we will be okay. I think we're still in a decent position. I think in even the games in the blip that we've had some ridiculous decisions go against us, which some were more meaningful than others, but all have had an impact on the game. So I think it's a blip, but every team has a blip, and it's just up to us to get it right. And I think the FA Cup match is a perfect way to just wipe a clean slate, get a good result, get some confidence. And I think if you look at the run of games we've got coming up, there's not too many times when we're playing two times a week up until kind of February once the Conference League comes back. Well, I think it's even March. I think we don't play till Conference League.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you on that one. I just hope we manage to sort out our defence.
Yeah, I mean, defence is a problem, but I actually think it's the attack that's been lacking a little bit more. I've said I've kind of said since the beginning, the defence is a problem, and of course, I think it does need to be fixed, because I said there will be a time where we were scoring lots of goals, and it's fine to outscore teams, but you are going to go through periods where you don't create as much and you're not as efficient. Players will go through patches of being not as efficient as they were. So that's the times where actually the defence is going to cost you a little bit more. So I think the defence is a problem. It doesn't help that our best centre-back is now out for potentially 6 weeks, potentially the season, depending on which person you believe, which I find that a bit crazy in itself, that the player and the manager have different opinions, but we'll wait and see how that actually goes and who's lying and who's telling the truth. But I do think there just needs to be some work in that defence, and partially the goalkeeper, because I think the goalkeeper, while the goalkeeper's been okay at the moment, the last few games, I do think the goalkeeper does also cost us goals and potentially points as well.
Check what I sent you on WhatsApp, by the way. Just don't say anything on the chat.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I did see it.
Yeah. So, what was I saying? Yeah, I don't know why Enzo Maresca keeps saying. I still don't believe he hasn't checked out on Sanchez yet. I thought he would have done by now.
I don't know. I mean, I think Jorgensen, he's done okay when he's been called upon, but I don't think he's put in absolutely world-class performances either to snatch that place off Sanchez. And I think it's generally, I think it's very hard to dislodge a goalkeeper. I think it probably will come at some point.
Pochettino did it.
Yes, but if you remember, Sanchez got injured, and that's
Yes.
what dislodged him.
But everyone thought he would go right back in the team after he came back from.
Yes, but that was with Petrovic getting 3 months of a run in. So it made more sense to stay with Petrovic rather than bring a Sanchez that you were not too confident in. So I think it's a different scenario. I think if the same scenario happened with Maresca probably would do the same thing because Jorgensen would naturally look better with more games under his belt.
Do you think we
Pochettino was forced into that decision rather than actually making a decision himself.
Do you think we will go after a striker this month? Because we're 7 days in. We haven't heard anything.
I don't think we'll go after a striker this month because
I
just don't see Gyökeres being, for example, a signing that will go in January. Ipswich are not going to get rid of Liam Delap this January. They will only get rid of him in the summer. So the only thing that I can see them do is bring a loan of Evan Ferguson to the end of the season. But I don't think that improves us whatsoever because he can't even get in the Brighton team, let alone the Chelsea team. Again, I just don't think it's a deal you can do in January. It's such a big deal. Newcastle are also fighting for Champions League. Why are they going to get rid of Isak in January, mid-season? There's no need for them to get rid of him.
Hey, we could always beg Victor.
I mean, Osimhen could technically happen, but I just don't think it will. I just don't. I think that's for Chelsea. I think that signing is long gone now. I think it's done, dusted.
I think his career was finished the moment he chose greed over his career.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was mistakes on all sides in that transfer. But of course, yeah.
I mean, what sort of idiot do you have to be to say, you know what? I'm going to choose greed, sit on the bench, over playing week in, week out for a team fighting for Champions League?
Yeah, well, it is what it is. He's made his bed. Now he's got to sleep in it.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't think a striker will be got to the summer. Do we get a defender? And that could include recalling a defender. I think that's probably the most likely. I don't think we bother with a goalkeeper in January. And then in terms of midfield, something might get sorted out, but I don't know what that will be.
Martin Zubimendi?
No, I think he'll go to Manchester City.
Really?
110%.
You know who else I think goes to Man City? Well, this is after Pep leaves. Xabi Alonso.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Do you think Man City will make a comeback? Do you think they'll recover from this catastrophe they got themselves into?
I think they'll do better, but I think they're too far behind to get back. They've left themselves too big a gap. I do think they'll still be in the top three. Because I think it'll be Chelsea, it'll be Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Forest as probably the top five.
Wait, do you think Forest get European football?
Yes.
Well, set pieces didn't say that this time, did it, Arrest? Big up, big up.
Yeah, I mean, Arsenal are in the mud.
I kept telling them that they'd get knocked out by Newcastle. Well, they all laughed at me. But I must say,
what phase is Arteta in?
yeah, what phase 5? Wait, what phase is Eddie Howe in?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like that phrase. I don't like that phrase, but I'm just gonna use it because I like just smashing Arsenal up. So I don't mind it when it's used in Arsenal terms.
What phase? Oh yeah, what phase is Maresca in? And yeah, Arrest. What about Ruben Amorim? What phase is Ruben Amorim in?
Yeah, I mean, Amorim's just crap.
You don't rate him,
mate. He's just gonna be the new Andre Villas-Boas.
huh? Did you think about him? Is it just because he went to United, or?
No, I think he'll get sacked before next Christmas.
Really? Everyone, Man City wanted him.
Yep. So.
I mean, if teams like City and Real Madrid are after you, you are no, and they see if they think you're good. Chances are you're good.
I mean, West Ham also wanted them. So what does that mean?
Well, what, Ruben Amorim?
Yeah.
So you thought he was going to be the next Andres Villas-Boas when he was at Sporting?
I mean, I've always said with Amorim, he has a good style of play in Portugal, but to translate that into the Premier League, you're going to have problems.
Think about it though. Sporting had never won the league before him. I mean, like for a long time. But then when he joined, they won 2 seasons in a row.
Yeah, but the Portuguese league is not the most difficult league in the world. I mean, it is a 2 or 3 horse race, arguably. 2 or 3 horse race.
That's okay. So why didn't Sporting won the league in so many years?
But I mean, Sporting have always had the potential to win the league, and of course, I think Ruben Amorim's done well in the Portuguese league for the style. It's fit, but not every style of management transfers into every league, and I just think you can't play like that in the Premier League, and how the Premier League is nowadays. You're going to get found out. Maybe the odd game, and particularly some of these like bigger games, you're gonna be okay in. And I think they have rode their luck a little bit in some of the games, the bigger games, even then, where they have got points. But I do think they're going to get found out by every game. I mean, Box, Maresca, honeymoon period over. I just think that's just pointless negativity. Personally, I assume he's not a Chelsea. I don't know if he's a Chelsea fan or not. So I'm going to assume he's a Chelsea fan. Oh well, he's just chatting crap. He's just chatting rubbish anyway. That's fine. I mean, go have a look at your club. You in a relegation battle. What do you say, Nippon?
Do you think the honeymoon period is over though?
No, I just think we are in a little blip with a few injury problems, and we've had a few issues that have joined together behind the scenes as well. But I think we will get out. We will come out of this the other side. Slip Box. You're in a relegation fight. Pipe down. Focus on not being bottom of the table, and then come chat to us. when you're in the top half of the table. We're in different leagues,
Yep.
mate. Just shush. Anyway, no, I think it's a blip. Personally, I think Maresca will be okay. I think he needs to trust his instinct a little bit, and I think he needs to trust his players a little bit more in terms of actually bringing some of his players on, because I think his substitution's a bit too late, and he doesn't use his substitutions well enough. I think he should. I think one thing I've been banging on about is he should not be afraid to take Cole Palmer off in a match. And I think he just needs to sort out a few things behind the scenes. But these are all fixable issues. And then obviously there are some issues that we still need to go into the market for. A good experienced centre back. We need to look at the goalkeeper situation and figure that out. But I still think that needs to be an in-house thing. And then a striker to compete with Jackson. So I think that's what we need to push us forward to the next level.
What I'm seeing so many gooners going into meltdown on Twitter.
That's because they've realised that they've just wasted 5 years.
Yeah, look, I told them that they are not. Look, when Arteta, when I saw that Arteta was signed as their manager, I was like, that couldn't have been. That is good news for everyone else in the Big Six. I told them that FA Cup against us was a fluke, and they'd win fuck all after that. And they all laughed at me. Well, I must say, you're not laughing now, are you?
No. I mean, Arteta's only won one trophy in all of his glory years, and that was a trophy that Anthony Taylor won for him.
All I'm going to say is, Enzo Maresca will end up winning more trophies with Chelsea than Mikel Arteta with Arsenal. I don't care if this will sound deluded or whatever. But this is what I think will happen. Sorry about that, sore throat.
That's right.
I wonder who they're playing. I wonder who these mutants are playing next. Arsenal get. I'm going into work on Thursday and giving it to my friend. I don't care. He chatted so much shit about Chelsea, and he supports Arsenal. I don't care. Arsenal play Man United next round. Come on, United! Oh yeah, speaking of United, do you think that those links to Kobe Mainu have any truth to them? Or is it just Mainu trying to force Ineos to give him a bigger pay package?
Well, I do think that he's a decent young player, and that fits the mould for Chelsea to sign him. Obviously, United need to sell players, and I think United will look at the pure profit aspect from Kobe Mainu and maybe look to sell him for a decent price. And I think, obviously, Chelsea fans have been talking about the midfield options, and I think Kobe Mainu could do pretty decent for Chelsea. Obviously, the only problem is I think Lavia, Caicedo are all kind of very similar mould, and then you've got Andre Santos coming back. So I think, do I think he's the right mould for a midfield option? I don't know. I think if you bring in Kobe Mainoo, that is massively putting pressure on Romeo Lavia to stay fit, and if he isn't staying fit, he might have to go out the door.
Do you think but do you not think Mainoo is just using it to force Jim Ratcliffe to give him a pay rise?
I mean, he could, but United are broke, so I don't know how much he can actually get. And I think Jim Ratcliffe will look at the aspect of pure profit, and he needs to. If he needs to balance the books, then he might just throw it the other way and go, "Do you know what? I'm going to sell you."
And plus, I heard Jim Ratcliffe's a Chelsea fan as well.
No, Jim Ratcliffe is a fan of about 500 million teams at this rate. I don't really believe any of it. I just he's just a crook in my eyes.
Yeah, he's a parasite.
Yeah, and the fact that people wanted him and said that Bowley and Egbali are bad and we should have had Jim Ratcliffe in. I mean, Jim Ratcliffe he's just been a horrible man.
You know, Todd Bowley looks like you probably get where I'm coming from. He looks like a cross between Rory Jennings and Boris Johnson. You don't see it, do you?
No, I don't see it.
I mean, he has Boris Johnson's hairdo.
I mean, I can see the Boris Johnson aspect. I don't see the Rory Jennings aspect.
Yeah. So, are you confident going into our next few fixtures then?
Yeah. I mean, I'm confident going into the FA Cup game. I'm actually just going to get the fixtures up now just to have a look to answer this question fully. I mean, Bournemouth's going to be a tough game because I think Bournemouth are playing well. But I think if we can get through that result, I think we should beat Wolves. Of course, City. We don't know how they're going to turn up, so depends on that. West Ham in the February is an interesting game. Depending if Potter's going to be there or not. We'll wait and see if he decides to actually finally get rid of his paycheck from Chelsea. We'll see what that happens with that, but that could be an interesting game. But I still think we can get a result out of that. But I just look at the fact that we're playing effectively nearly once a week for the next four to 6 weeks. So that will help with the rotation and tiredness aspect. It will help Maresca make some changes on the changing ground, hopefully, for each of the games. And I think if we can get a result in the Bournemouth game, then I think we can have a little run into the Man City game. And if we beat Man City, then again, I think we can go on a good run and solidify the top four a little bit more.
Man City, yeah, about that. We're playing them just as they're about to get their mojo back. Couldn't be.
I mean, are they getting their mojo back? I mean, I know they had a good result the other day, but they're still vulnerable.
They decimated West Ham. They decimated Leicester.
Yeah, but West Ham are crap and Leicester are crap.
But wait, have Leicester been beaten by all 6 of the big 6?
Pardon?
So it's us, Arsenal, Tottenham, Man City, Man United, and Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean Leicester are crap. West Ham are one of the worst teams that I've seen this season we played. So yeah, I don't think you can judge from them games. Of course, they've scored some goals, which would be good for City, but they've got to actually come up against some of the more tougher oppositions by that point. So I think we can get a result out of City. I don't think I think they're vulnerable. I think they're still going to have some problems.
Oh, look at what Book said. Sorry, I didn't read this earlier. Touched a nerve. Well, touched a nerve. I'll tell you what will touch a nerve. 7-0.
I mean, I'll just. I mean, it's not really touching a nerve. It's just we're in different leagues. It's not comparable. I mean, I'm just looking at it now. You're 13 points off us. 13 points.
Imagine this.
With 18 games to go. You are 13th place. You are around West Ham, who, as I said, was one of the worst teams. You are literally 7 points off the relegation zone. You are closer to the relegation zone than you are us. It's not. There's no nerves that are being struck. I couldn't care less. I find it funny that a club like United, who have been pretending they're the big boss for the last 5-6 years, when actually you've been on a downfall for years. You're not learning from your mistakes, and it's just funny. It's just funny. I find it funny how even now you guys are so deluded. But big up to you guys for continuing to be deluded and continuing to give us views. So thank you very much. We enjoy your downfall, and we will forever enjoy your downfall. Good night. I don't know where Nippin's gone, so I guess I'll just have to keep talking. He's going. He'll be back in a minute. So yeah, big up to Box for giving us some views. But I think it's time for you guys to play the Prestons of the world, the Rotherhams, the Barnsleys down in the Championship. Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be hilarious? Both Manchester clubs relegated. One because of FFP, one because of just being sheer incompetent. That would be glorious, and we can bathe in them tears of United fans. That would be hilarious, fantastic, and I'm sure all Chelsea fans here would agree with that. Big up to everyone that is watching. I really don't know what to say anymore, but there you go. I'm just looking at the table now. I mean, it is closing up, to be fair. Between 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. So that does worry me a little bit, but I still think we are in the race for the top two. But we'll have to wait and see. Nippin is back.
Do you think? Yeah. You checked the private chat, didn't you?
Yeah.
Do you think if we do the right business in the summer transfer window, do you think we could potentially challenge for the league?
Yeah, so I think Liverpool will be substantially weaker next year for a few people that will be leaving the club. And I think they're not going to have the money to replace them. I think Arsenal, I don't know how they're going to be next season. They
Trent
look like...
Salah?
Pardon? What did you say, Nippin?
Arsenal are falling off a cliff this season, to be fair.
Yeah,
Arsenal are falling off a cliff this season.
Yeah, I mean, they are. So God knows where they're going to be next season. Again, what's going to happen in Manchester City? I don't see United coming back into it. So I think there's an opening for us to challenge, definitely. Whether we'll win it or not is another question. I'm not going to say that right now, but depends on what we do. I think we'll have a definite chance.
Do you think City will, not this season, do you think they'll recover from their calamity and challenge next season?
Nippin, I can't really hear you. You seem a bit far away from the camera.
I said, are City going to challenge next season? Will they recover from this season, or is this the end of Man City as we know it?
We'll see how the charges go. We'll see how Pep is feeling, if Pep's going to be there at the end of the season. And we'll see how they do their business in the summer, because I think that they need to do a lot more business than I think they first thought. We'll see how Rodri does coming back from his injury. I think there's a lot to do at Manchester City. So I think if they can get the job done, of course, I think they can challenge again. But I think it might just be a couple of years of transition for City as they rebuild the team. And I think with Man City potentially going into a rebuild phase, Liverpool losing a few players on a free transfer, a few big players, they're going to be weakened. With Arsenal just limbering round as they are, I think it gives us the opening. I'm not going to say that we're going to win the title or anything, because at the end of the day, we've got problems of our own that we've got to fix. But I think if we can fix some of our problems, then I think we'll definitely be in the race.
So who do you think I know we've unsigned a striker in January. Do you think we're going to target a big name centre forward in the summer?
Depends on Jackson.
Well, the wheels are falling off for him, to be fair.
I think he's just going for a bit of a blip, which strikers do.
Did Aguero ever go through a blip?
He kept getting injured every 5 minutes, so I'd call that a blip.
Okay, I take that back. Strikers did Harry Kane ever go through a blip I don't count injuries. When fit, did either Kane or Aguero go through blips?
Not really. But
Barely had any goal droughts. The maximum games either of those strikers I mentioned they scored, maximum was like 2-3 games they didn't score.
Yeah, but I mean, my argument would be we were seeing Harry Kane and Aguero in their primes. If you look at Harry Kane at Jackson's age, I guarantee there were blips in Harry Kane's form. I guarantee there were potentially blips in Aguero's form. I think we've got to forget we keep forgetting that Jackson is still a fairly young striker. He's not in his prime, and of course he's still improving, and he still needs to improve on certain things. But at the end of the day, he's still scoring goals. He's on course to get 20 goals this season. To which I'm gonna make a very controversial point, and this is not me downplaying this striker because he's one of my idols. But Drogba barely got 20 goals a season, but yet still is a very good striker. So we've got.
Drogba never got more than 20 goals.
I didn't say no. He barely. There were only a couple of seasons where he actually got more than 20 goals a season in the Premier League, whereas Jackson is on course to hit 20 goals a season if he carries on his rate.
But would you rather a striker that doesn't score many goals, but all the goals he scores are important, or a striker that scores so many goals but doesn't ever score at the right time?
Of course, you've got to score at the right time, but it's not always down to your striker, for one. Two, if I like my strike, if my striker's not scoring, I'd like him to be impactful in other ways, and I do think Jackson does have that in his game. I just think at the moment Jackson needs someone to push him. Do you bring in a top quality person to push him, or do you bring someone as a plan B? That would be my question. Personally, I've said that we need to go after someone like Victor Gyökeres because I think it'll be a perfect signing. I do think that will make Jackson second choice, and will he be happy with that? I don't know. But I think that allows us to have two good strikers. But I can definitely see them going down that route. I can see them going down. I mean, don't count out John Duran in this aspect, because I think
I wouldn't mind John Duran, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, but my point is
I've seen a lot of when he was linked. I saw a lot of our fans saying, "Oh, why are we going after John Duran? Why are we going after Aston Villa's second choice?" Because he was their second choice. Second fiddle to Ollie Watkins.
We heard the same about Samu.
Huh?
And look how well he's doing right now at Porto. So I think people need to just calm down and trust what we're doing. Who do I think we realistically get in the summer? I think we get Liam Delap. Who do I want this summer? Victor Gokores.
You don't rate Isak?
No, I don't.
You don't rate Isak?
I think he's okay. I don't think he's much better than Jackson. I think he's going to cost you 4 times as much.
He had a good performance against Arsenal, though.
Yes, but he's in a good patch of form. He wasn't in a good patch of form at the start of the season. He was struggling. But no one wants to mention that. No one wants to mention that, and no one wants to mention that he misses chances. But just because he scores after, that makes it all fine. I mean, people seem to hyper focus on Jackson's misses, which sometimes they are justified, but sometimes they're not. And some people like Isaac, people like Haaland, people don't want to focus on their misses for some reason, which I just find stupid. Because if they were at Chelsea, you would be hyper focused on them.
Do you think? Well, to be fair, ever since Haaland said "stay humble," he's been missing chance after chance after chance. Do you think that's just bad luck, or the football gods punishing him?
I think it's just bad timing. I mean, Haaland was it was Rodri's injury that was the catalyst for City's downfall a little bit. I do think people like Oscar Bob as well, going out at the start of the season, meant that there was limited options for City, and I think they're just really struggling. I don't think that's down to Haaland. I think it's just Haaland's now become limited because he's not getting the hyper amount of chances that he was getting before, which means his misses are becoming more highlighted. And that's the thing. Sometimes with a striker, they're not all. I mean, Harry Kane is a freak in terms of his efficiency. Aguero was a freak. I don't think even Victor Gokores is not even that freak of nature in terms of a striker. I think he's good, but he's not that good. But I think he's the best you can get.
The only reason I said Isak was because Isak is Prem proven.
Yeah, but Prem proven doesn't always mean everything.
Will he cost more than Gokores?
Who, Isak? Yeah, 100%.
Like what, 80 million? Or...
Well, Newcastle quoted £125 million in the summer. So, yeah, this is what I mean. Nip in. When I said that he'd cost you 4 times as much as Jackson did, I wasn't kidding. I wasn't hyperbole.
And he's on the same level as Jackson.
This is what I mean.
Who does Newcastle think they are?
They don't want to sell him, that's why.
Okay. What if Alexander Isak says, bollocks, I want to leave?
He's on a big contract, so...
Okay. But what if Newcastle? What if the project fails? Like, you know, they bought the Saudis to compete with Man City.
What do you mean if the project fails?
You know, the $1 billion takeover.
But they're still gonna. They're not going to get rid of them anytime soon. They're still going to be there. I mean, I think they know it's a long-term project because they can't just spend the money like Man City could before.
So any
projects. Go on, Nippon.
Do you think if financial fair play wasn't a thing, they'd be splashing the cash?
Oh, 120,000%.
Now teams just have to rely on developing players.
To an extent, but I think it's actually just teams need to improve their revenue. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I think everyone's got money now, but the teams that are struggling are the teams that are struggling with revenue and spending too much on stupid things like wages.
Yeah. So, I was moving the tablet when you were saying stuff about the next 5 fixtures. I'm gonna check them for myself now. Who do you think wins the Premier League first, Chelsea or Arsenal?
Chelsea.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll win. So,
I mean, I'm going to go even bolder. Chelsea will win a Champions League and a Premier League before Arsenal win a Prem.
Okay. Your words, not mine. So,
Arsenal are not winning it. Mate, Arsenal, when Arsenal last won a Premier League, Twitter wasn't formed, Facebook wasn't formed, email wasn't formed. They've never even got an email saying they're the champions. Mate, I don't even know. Was MySpace around at that point?
I don't know.
They got a letter through the post. They got a letter through the post telling them they're champions.
Pathetic. So yeah, I think our next 5 games.
I think it's Morecambe, Bournemouth, Wolves, City, West Ham.
Okay, and if it's Prem only, then it's So I think we win against Morecambe.
Well, I think we will. We can't lose against Morecambe.
I swear.
We are not losing against Tyson Fury FC. No.
Tyson Fury, is that where he's from?
Yeah, Morecambe.
I thought he was a Man United fan.
No, but he lives around Morecambe.
Okay. Okay, then there's Bournemouth. I think that's going to be a win. Chelsea, Wolves, win. Okay. This is an early prediction, so it could change. It's gonna be a very bold prediction, and I'm gonna say Chelsea will beat Man City at the Etihad. Chelsea, West Ham, I think we'll win. Brighton, Chelsea, I think that would be a draw.
I think it will be Bournemouth tight win. Wolves will win. Man City will be a draw. West Ham will be a win. Brighton will be a win.
Okay, so you've gone for the same amount of wins and draws, but just different teams.
Yeah.
Sorry, sore throat.
And I still think we can beat City. I just think because it's away at the Etihad, and kind of just play it a
And
bit safe.
I think they'll be getting back into form at the same time as well.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, is what it is.
So, Matt, before we wrap up, where can people find you?
So you can find me on my Twitter handle at MattJBall98. You can find me on the membership section of Chelsea Perspective. Go and sign up for a membership if you haven't already. And you can find me on the Blue Code Project podcast on Spotify and Apple. And then you can also find me on the women's channel of When to Mow Kings Meadow podcast as an occasional guest.
Awesome. You can find me You can find me on all those links below. You can also find me as a occasional panelist on Worldwide Chels. Go subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. You can find me as an occasional caller on Football Carnage TV, ran by the Big Six's very own Grizz Khan. And you can also find me at almost every home game at Chelsea. And with that being said, I shall see you all in the next video.